Do you know that you have to create a caloric deficit in order to hit your weight loss goals? But you find yourself wondering, is there such thing as too low? If that's you, I want you to know the answer is absolutely yes. And I'm going to pull back the curtain on 3 lessons I learned personally. These are my personal lessons from cutting my calories too low at some point on my weight loss journey. So let's jump into it, shall we? Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, my name is Concita Thomas. I'm a food and fitness strategist. I help women over 40 lose 30 plus pounds and keep it off without diets and without excessive exercise. However, we don't do it without a caloric deficit. You already know that a caloric deficit is a requisite if you are looking to create weight loss. Now, doesn't mean you have to count calories, doesn't mean you have to cut out any food groups, but some way, somehow, you're going to have to create a deficit if you want to release pounds and if you want to release body fat. However, what I have found is that many of us, myself included, I've done it, go way too low, way too fast, for way too long when it comes to losing weight. We want the exciting initial result. We want the exciting before and after, the oohs and ahs of having a completely different body in 6 to 8 weeks. That's entirely possible. However, it's not without consequence. So without further ado, let's talk about what happened when I cut my calories too low on my weight loss journey. And I wish I could tell you it was this one time it happened, but since we're friends here, I'm gonna be honest. I've done this more than once and I've learned the same lessons each time. Why did I have to learn them again and again? Who knows? Probably for the same reason you may have had to learn them again and again. So let's jump into it. Maybe by me being transparent and sharing the lessons I've learned, you can see yourself in them, it can resonate, and you won't have to learn this lesson or these lessons as many times as I have to finally stop the madness. Let's jump into it. Lesson number 1 that I learned from cutting my calories too low along my weight loss journey is that the lower you go, the harder it is to sustain. Now, you may think I'm talking about sustain the weight loss, but I'm not. I am talking about to sustain the deficit. I've noticed that if I could have gotten results with a gentle 200 or 300 calorie deficit and I slash my calories, 500, 600 calories, I can get results. Are they exciting? Yes. Is it just really rewarding to see the scale going down, super fast when you're trying to lose weight? Yes, it is. However, what I've discovered is that the lower I go, especially if I do it in one fell swoop, the harder it is to sustain that deficit. Why is this? For many reasons that you'd probably find boring, biology, hormones, things of that nature. However, the fact of the matter is our bodies don't care about our desire to fit a certain size gene. They just don't. Our bodies want to survive. So when we cut our calories too low, too fast, and we stay too low for too long, it signals a threat in our biology, and our hormones respond in kind with making us hungrier, more lethargic, cueing hunger and cravings, and eventually it goes all out the window. And by eventually, I mean very, very soon. So rather than cutting my calories super low, I am now of the school of thought, if I want to drop some pounds, then I'm going to create the most gentle deficit that will actually create a result that I can, as opposed to cutting my calories really, really low. All right, let's move on to the second lesson that I learned by cutting my calories too low, too fast. Okay, the second lesson I learned on my weight loss journey when it comes to cutting my calories too low is that the lower you go, the lower you have to stay. Oh my goodness. So as if it weren't enough to struggle to maintain the deficit that you created, you will also find that you will have to stay lower in order to continue to lose weight and in order to not gain weight. So there have been times where I white knuckled it through and used every aid and methods that I possibly could in order to sustain that lower calorie deficit, the one that will make you want to eat more. And I did indeed get to my goal. However, what was very disheartening to me was that I could not then just go back to what used to be moderate eating and expect to keep the weight off. Because remember, I had slashed my calories tremendously and drastically to get the weight off. So now my new maintenance was much lower than it used to be. And while it's natural for your maintenance to be a little bit lower than your old maintenance, if you lose a substantial amount of weight, so 30, 50, 80 pounds, then of course, yes, to maintain a body that is 30 to 80 to 100 pounds lighter than it used to be, it's likely going to require fewer calories than before. However, what I was finding is even just losing 20 pounds sometimes, I'd have to eat way lower calories than before to maintain that weight loss. And oftentimes it didn't work, especially if you think about the fact that after the weight loss has happened, after all the clothes fit, you're excited, especially if you've lost weight in a way that I have before, where you put your social life on hold and you're turning down social outings and you're not even going out to restaurants and everything is home cooked. When you finally lose that weight, you're looking to resume, or at least I was looking to resume, some semblance of normal life. And when I realized that I had to continue to eat super low calorie in order to maintain that weight loss, oftentimes it just wasn't worth it for me. So whether it was all at once or slowly, and then eventually all at once, I eventually crept back up with my consumption and the weight came right back. All right, I've got more where that came from, but I'm curious to know, have you ever cut your calories too low? How did you know? What happened? And how did you correct it? Join in the conversation in the comments. I'm really looking forward to hear from you. Or if you don't want to join in the comments because it's public, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'd love to talk to you about it. All right, the third and final lesson that I learned, I kind of alluded to this in the very first lesson, is that the calories you save now will often find you later. And I don't mean in terms of weight, I mean in terms of food. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've either gone out to eat or I've gone to a social outing and I've been really good. You know how we say that, right? Oh my gosh, I went out and I was so good. I only ate this or I didn't eat that. By the way, if you can't tell by the sarcasm in my voice, I no longer associate food choices with morality. So that's why if you didn't catch that sarcastic voice. So I can't tell you how many times I've gone out and I have avoided calories. Okay, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have dessert. I'm not going to have that piece of bread. No, I'm not going to have a drink. Or no, I'm not going to have seconds. And in that moment, I was successful. However, because my calories were so low and there was very little wiggle room for indulgences, enjoyable food, what would happen is I had to do that all the time. And often what would happen is I'd get back home after the event when I'd let my guard down and find myself playing peekaboo with the pantry and munching down the calories that I thought I saved earlier in some meaningless, mindless granola, peanut butter, you name it, just not being satisfied. Well, being underfed first because the calories were way too low. But then number two, not being satisfied and really seeking some sort of satisfaction for my food. So when I say the calories that you save now will find you later, I mean, pay attention to whether or not you are making the right choice in social situations or when you go out to eat or maybe even in the meals that you pack for yourself at work, but then you find yourself finding ways to sneak in little extra calories throughout the day. If that is happening, that is a big red flag, and it likely means that you have cut your calories too low. So even if you're getting a result, if you are not able to resist that temptation, or you find that you're always being pulled in and feeling like you're eating on the go or in between meals, it's likely that you've done what I did, which is cut your calories way too low, and you'd be better served to intentionally eat more calories of good food and some indulgent food than to just nibble around in between meals, because you'd be surprised how quickly that can add up to an extra 400 or 600 calories, which is enough to then halt your weight loss, or in some cases even make you gain weight. For many of us, when that happens, we think we need to double down and try harder, so we slash our calories even more, which just amplifies the problem, and we're just in this vicious cycle. So I hope you found this video, this confession video helpful, and that you have gleaned some wisdom from it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and then hit the bell so that you're notified when I post videos. And if you like hearing more of my thoughts on the sustainable approach to weight loss, you can go check out my podcast. There are over 100 recorded episodes over there that you can binge on right away. If you're looking for ways to make sure that you're getting enough of the right food and to control your portion so that you can create a weight loss result without slashing your calories too low or without having to eliminate the indulgences and the yummy food, I totally recommend that you check out my practical portion control cheat sheet. and the bonus video training that comes with that. Currently, it is complimentary. The link to that cheat sheet and that training is in the description below. And if you go down to the bottom of the cheat sheet, you'll see how you are able to work in indulgences like the cheese and the chocolate and things like that. So be sure to go ahead and download your copy of that. If you're like, girl, the cheat sheet is cute, but I want to move beyond the cheat sheet, I need some personal one-on-one time, not only knowledge, but support, mentoring, accountability from someone who has walked and continues to walk this walk and knows how to help others. If that's you, then I recommend that you check out my signature program. It's called Get It Off, Keep It Off One-on-One Coaching. And the link to that program is also included in the description below. You can check out the information page, see if you think it may be a fit. And if it is, go ahead and apply. All right, fierce friend, that's all I have for today. Until next time, stay fierce.